In an age of the internet and satellite navigation, there's still one profession that bases itself on good old-fashioned brain power. The black cab driver. To become a London cabbie, you must first learn the 25,000 streets and 60,000 points of interest in our nation's capital. It's called the knowledge. So how hard can it be? We've given Carol Thatcher, Jeff Brazier and Janet Street Porter the task of memorising a square mile of central London. And not only that, under the expert guidance of their mentors, they must learn to think like a cabbie.
I kind of have to pee.
Right,
Talk like a cabbie.
You nuts or something!
And drive like a cabbie.
Sorry. Whoa, careful of that side.
These celebrities are in at the deep end and are about to discover if they've got what it takes to conquer the capital. Over the last 6 weeks, the celebrities have been trying to learn an area of central London that spans from Holborn in the north to Victoria train station in the south. Each week, the celebs have been set a challenge, and so far, Janet has won every time.
He gave me £10.
Whoa.
Because he was so pleased how quickly I did it.
Jeff's knowledge is improving, and with the purchase of a moped, he's catching up.
Rose on the left-hand side.
You're a genius! You genius star, Jeff!
On the other hand, Carol hates the traffic.
Oh, how the lights have changed. It's for a laugh.
And refused to take the wheel in a last challenge.
Courtney, come on!
Oh, my dear, come on. She refuses to drive.
In 2 weeks' time, the celebrities will be expected to know every street and 80 points of interest within the area. This week, they'll be tested on their knowledge of tourist attractions. And Steve's got his hands full as his pupil Janet has already proved that she has an encyclopedic knowledge of the capital.
Well, what we're going to do now, we're going to have a little drive around this afternoon. I'm going to show you some things even you won't know about London. Little snippets that you can tell tourists and stuff.
If you're a Londoner, you know where all the attractions are. I know about Trafalgar Square, the National Gallery, the National Portrait Gallery. I know where the Tate Britain is, I know where Tate Modern is.
I'm pretty confident today that we're actually going to find stuff that even Janet doesn't know. She'll know the names of the streets we're on, but she won't know the little cut-throughs.
Janet's London will be a bit different, I can tell you, and it wouldn't feature royalty, that's for sure.
On the other hand, Jeff's an absolute beginner when it comes to the sights of London.
I've never really been into London and done the tourist thing. It's funny, when something's pretty much on your doorstep, you tend not to visit it as much as what you would viewers from a different country.
Jeff coming from Essex, I don't know if he will know him. We'll find out today. I'm hoping he might surprise us all and know quite a bit, but I'm not holding my breath.
So, with their mentors in the back, Janet and Jeff set off on their tour. The last time Carol was at the wheel, she abandoned her cab in heavy traffic, and she's not keen on driving again.
I remain a tube traveller. You're taking me on a tour of London.
Yes,
Let's
I'm going
go.
to let you see a few things. I'll let you see why we have to learn these things.
Luckily, her mentor Courtney knows his place.
Okay.
Okay, Courtney, let's go.
In Janet's cab, Steve is trying to prove to her that she doesn't know everything.
What do they call the Queen Victoria statue in the middle? What's it called?
Oh, I don't know that. I'm not a great royalist.
No. In cabbie parlance, it's called the wedding cake.
The wedding cake?
The wedding cake. Because it looks like a tiered wedding cake.
That's not a fact. That's just a load of
That's what they call it. It's cabbie
So I've
parlance.
got a tourist in the back and I'm saying that statue is called the wedding cake.
No, we don't tell tourists that. I'm just telling you. That's what it's known as in cabbie speak.
Cabbie speak.
Jeff's first stop is on the embankment. Here lies the 3,500-year-old Egyptian obelisk, Cleopatra's Needle.
So this is Cleopatra's Needle with the sphinxes either side of it.
The amount of times I've been up this road, I've not once noticed it.
Would have noticed it. I don't know what's around this
not
side.
Noticed that.
When they was bringing it over here, there was a storm in Spain on the Bay of Biscay, and all the sailors lost their lives. There were 6 of them, and their names are on it.
In Mayfair, Carol is about to be shown a monument that's far less ancient.
As you can notice, look, Churchill's got his old cigar in his hand.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, there's old Roosevelt. Churchill looks a lot slimmer than he usually was, though, isn't it?
The Ally statue is on New Bond Street. Unveiled in 1995, it commemorates 50 years of peace. And Courtney is as enthusiastic as ever.
I bet you never thought you'd see the day, did you? Hey? The two of you sitting between a brilliant Rasta man, would you? You never would believe it, would you? Hey?
But is his passionate approach giving Carol more courage to take on this week's challenge?
So you think you're getting any more confidence with this now, Missy?
Oh yes, I love being driven, Courtney.
Oh, it's not about being driven.
Listening to your chatter and patter.
So do I love being driven, but you know what I mean? You got to step up to the plate, girl. Serious.
While Carol remains in the back seat, Janet and Steve are en route to the historic Pickering Place. But can Janet be taught something she doesn't know?
Legend has it, or story has it, that this square is where they used to come to do their jewels, to settle their differences. You can imagine these old flagstones, but there's some spilt wine there. You can imagine them running with blood. You know, as the vanquished falls, and the old victor resheaves his sword. You know, you can imagine. The Americans love this sort of thing. And
What's this?
that's where there was a Texas litigation. Something happened with Texas when it was independent from the States back in 1860 or something. This is the sort of stuff they love. There's a plaque somewhere that tells you about that, and the Americans always stop and read it. That's a sundial.
Signifying anything?
The time.
I'm going to go around Trafalgar Square a million times if I'm a cab driver, so it's good if I can turn around and say to anyone that's interested, that's the world's smallest police station, that.
Yeah, and you get a nice tip.
Jeff's come to see the smallest police station in Britain, in Trafalgar Square's southwest corner.
It's not in use, Lise, to be honest.
Oh no, look, there's store stuff on there, isn't
Are you sure this ain't the janitor's cupboard?
The booth is 180 years old, but Jeff's not impressed.
And it's got "we" on the step, so for that reason I'm going to strike that off of the points list of things to remember in London, and we're going to go back to the cab and go and look at things of greater importance. Come on, Lisa.
But if Jeff thinks that's trivial, Steve's had to try even harder to find a landmark that Janet doesn't know.
Well, this is the Duke of York Steps.
Yep.
And down the bottom is the Institute of Contemporary Arts.
Yep.
The back entrance is over there. That's the Institute of Directors there.
But what's here?
You're going to tell me.
Right.
Because in all the years going up and down these steps, I have never come to these railings.
Now, gravestone. Gyro. A true friend. That's the Nazi dog.
How do you know the dog was a Nazi?
Well, perhaps the dog wasn't, but
All right.
this used to be the German embassy.
Okay.
1934. There's a guy called Hitler around then. He was, he was a Nazi.
Don't patronise me, Steve.
And his ambassador, and obviously he wouldn't have been the German ambassador if he wasn't mates with Hitler at the time, because he obviously only sent his
All
mates
right.
over here.
The German ambassador's dog is buried here.
That's right. When he buried the dog there, they referred to it as a Nazi dog. And we don't know what the political persuasion of the dog actually was.
Yeah,
For all
let's
we know,
not slag off the dog.
he could have been
This
a
is
closet
in
socialist.
Exactly, this is Cabbie speak.
But it's the Nazi
dog.
It's the Nazi dog.
Mission accomplished. Janet's learnt something new. And Carol's about to discover something even more obscure. Courtney's taken her to Great Newport Street near Leicester Square to show her the smallest attraction in the knowledge zone.
It's a police court hook. Yes, right here. There used to be an island here. And this is where the police used to hang his kid. Yeah, when he was dealing with the traffic.
These days, your coat
No.
would disappear fairly
That's
quickly,
right.
wouldn't it?
But this is one of the last ones left. Lots of places sometimes are in places you can't drive.
So you don't just have to know the streets, you have to know what's hanging on the walls as well.
Exactly.
Oh, this is more
That's why London
more
cab drivers.
exacting every moment.
Exactly, and that's why London cab drivers are the best in the world.
They are.
And if I get my way, they will always be the best in the world.
I know you're the best in the world, Courtney, don't you worry.
In Soho, Steve's about to take Janet's tour a little too far.
The bad news is that a lot of people you pick up at night who want to come to Soho, especially sort of groups of northern men or pairs of northern men or elderly men in raincoats, they're interested in more of, how shall we put it, the carnal delights of Soho.
I won't be picking them up.
Well, that's how it works. I mean, they put their hand up, you stop and you take them where you want to go.
I'll switch my light off because I don't want to pick up sad old who are interested in the exploitation of women.
No, look, in the 70s, when it was all
Don't tell me
happening,
about sex business.
it was a bit seedy and interesting. It was, it made it
I'm
more
not interested
interesting.
in it.
Come back. She's gone.
Coming up, can our students impress actual tourists with their knowledge?
I thought you had to do all these courses to become a taxi driver.
And will Carol finally drive the cab? 49 million visitors flock to London every year, and for these tourists, the black cab is considered an attraction in itself. If a cabbie knows his stuff, he can make good money from giving a guided tour. Earlier, the celebs prepared to be tested on their knowledge of London's tourist attractions.
It's the Nazi dog.
It's the Nazi dog.
And while Jeff and Janet drove their cabs, Carol wanted to sit in the back. In fact, she hasn't driven now for nearly 3 weeks. Time for this week's challenge.
We're going to head on down to Buckingham Palace, Buckhouse, and then you're going to pick up a tourist, and we're going to go somewhere else. I know not where, but you might have to point a few things out on the way.
Oh, okay.
We've sent the trainee cabbies to Buckingham Palace. Waiting are groups of genuine sightseers who, on our advice, would like to visit the Eros statue, the policeman's coat hook, and finally, the Royal Festival Hall. As usual, their mentors will be following in our tracking vehicle. But will Carol take it on?
I've shown Carol all I think she needs to know. I hope, please, I hope she drives now. That's the main thing. I hope she drives now.
Oh, I think, yes, give it a go. Poor Courtney has been teaching me for long enough. Eventually you have to let the people have a shot. Hand over the keys.
Pretend it's like a jungle around Buckingham Palace. Yes?
I'll do that.
And I know you can do it.
See you later, mate.
Okay.
Jeff's managed to find Buckingham Palace and a pair of Aussie tourists.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, girls. We're fine. Where would you like to go to?
The Eros statue, please? Yeah.
The Eros statue.
Oh, Eros.
That's if he knows where to go.
Sorry, could you help me at all? I mean, because they relocated that recently. Where would you know it to be right now?
Never clue.
You wouldn't have a clue where the Eros statue is.
No, that's why we're in here.
I know. Have you got a little book that might tell you where it is?
We've got a map. Yeah. It's a map from the bus.
Let's have a look on that map for the Eros, and then I can get you there. I just don't know what address it is, to be honest.
You should know that.
I know, I don't.
I thought you had to do all these courses to become a taxi driver.
It's a new one. They've only just put it up.
I know.
In Janet's cab, there's no hesitation.
The Eros statue?
Eros statue, Piccadilly Circus. Is that where you want to go? All right, okay.
Sure you know where it is?
Yeah, I do.
Great.
Carol's next to make the pickup.
Evening, guys.
It's a Finnish father and daughter.
I heard from my friends that there is that Eros statue in
There is an Eros statue in Piccadilly.
in Piccadilly Circus. Can we go there?
Well, we'll go there afterwards.
No wonder Carol isn't keen. Last time she drove that way, she abandoned her cab. Now she's failed the task for not taking her passengers to their first destination.
Oh, in that case, can you take me to Court Hook, Police Court Hook?
Absolutely.
Luckily for the tourists, she does know the second stop. So, off they go. Meanwhile, Jeff's knowledge is being put to the test by his very inquisitive passengers.
Now, what's this one on the left?
Well, it's got to be something to do with maybe the Houses of Parliament. It's probably their offices.
Wouldn't Houses of Parliament offices be near the Houses of Parliament?
Time for Jeff to prove he knows his stuff.
So, what's this up front?
That's the monument to Trafalgar. Who was one of our great boat people.
Ah. Well, where's Nelson?
Well, Nelson?
Yeah, wasn't there a Nelson in Trafalgar Square?
Well, that could be him as well. I mean, they look quite
Or is
similar.
it Trafalgar or Nelson?
They all like to wear the same sort of clothes and the same sort of haircuts in them days. So, yeah, that's Nelson now.
And Jeff isn't the only one not cut out to be a tour guide.
The man with horse, what is it? Excuse me, what was that man with horse? What statue it was?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite...
Okay. It was there.
In Janet's cab, her Danish tourists are keen to stop and take a photo.
You want to take a picture?
Yeah, we want a picture of the man in the red coat.
Oh, all right, I can get over there.
And she's willing to oblige.
Smile.
But with so many distractions, Janet's flawless sense of direction has been thrown off kilter.
Ah, now she's cocked up. Ah, she should have gone right there and through St James's Square, the first mistake she's made. Because now she turns into Piccadilly, we are going to sit in solid traffic all the way to Piccadilly Circus.
Carol's in no such trouble.
Oh, yes, my girl is turning the right place. You go, girl.
By declining to take her passengers to the Eros statue, she's avoided the traffic and is at their second destination, the historic policeman's coat hook. She even leaves the cab to give her customers a guided tour.
This is called a police coat or cape hook. And the reason why it's still here, because there used to be a traffic island here, and it was in the very civilized days when the policeman on directing the traffic or the carriages could take his coat or cape off and hang it up there.
On Regent Street, Janet's made a lucky escape.
This is the quietest I've ever seen Piccadilly at this time of the day.
She's at the first stop. The question is, can Janet find the next one?
Coat hook or something?
Coat hook, that's it.
Coat hook. Oh, it's over there.
We don't know really
Yeah,
where
I
it is.
know exactly where it is. It's on Great Newport Street.
Jeff still hasn't found the first destination. And to make matters worse, he's now heading in the wrong direction.
I don't know where he's going then.
It's a lot further than I thought.
Yeah, it's not that far.
His Aussie tourists are suspicious.
So how long have you been cab driving?
6 days.
What, and we're the guinea pigs?
Kind of, yeah.
Ah.
With the meter already double what it should be, Jeff finds the statue. Time for the next test.
Coat hook.
Yeah, the coat hook! You know it?
I know it. Brilliant.
Oh, good.
I know this.
Things are looking up for Jeff, but Janet's already there.
There's the coat hook.
The phone booth?
The coat hook.
Carol's nearly at the final point, the Royal Festival Hall. But she's already failed the challenge because she didn't stop in Piccadilly Circus. And that's not all.
It looks like Carol has turned the meter off by mistake, so she's obviously doing a freebie here. You ain't going to earn any money like that, my dear.
Jeff's at the second stop. But there's some confusion as to what a policeman's coat hook actually is.
Right, there's the coat hook right there.
Where?
Well, you see,
Where?
see the tappers bar?
Oh, what, this bit here?
He's actually pointed to a nearby gas heater.
Is it one of those things there?
Yeah, there's two of them. That's all it is. That is the Met Police coat hook.
Oh, I thought that was a gas heater. There we go.
Well, they just hung their coats on some lanterns. Yeah, they took photos of it.
On the south bank, Carol's speeding towards the Royal Festival Hall.
She's even darting around pumps. Oh, God.
In the end, she failed the challenge. But Courtney's just relieved that she's back in the driving seat.
Although she didn't take them everywhere they wanted to go, I thought, yeah, she done okay. And she drove the right way.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy London.
You drove all the way here with the meter not on?
Oh, no, but see, I took it off at the hook and I thought they were so nice, these Finnish people, and London's so expensive.
Oh, okay.
I thought I'd give them a freebie to the Royal Festival Hall.
That is being a good ambassador for the cab trade.
And Janet's not far off either. She's letting nothing stand in her way.
You outside, darling! Have you been a bus driver? Right, here's the Royal Festival Hall.
Okay, that's great.
A textbook finish. But did she do the route for the correct fare?
What's on the meter?
12.80.
Right, let's see what it should have gone. £14.
I hope I'm going to win it. I'm still worried about the knowledge examination, especially, because I haven't had a chance to do any homework.
Now all of a sudden she's coming up with names of streets, so I've got a sneaking suspicion that she's not going to admit it, but she's having a crafty peek at the old A to Z.
And there's little competition. Luckily, Jeff's passengers weren't made to pay his £28.30 fare.
It would have been a hell of a lot more easier and saved them towards a lot of money.
People are relying on you to provide a service where you get them in the right place at the right time. So, yeah, I'm obviously a long way off being a proper cabbie.
Next time, with only a week left, the mentors pull out all the stops.
Hello, everybody. My name's Jeff.
And the trainees do their first night shift.
Tonight from 7:30, don't miss a double helping of a brand new series on Sky Travel when a zebra falls ill in Zoo Story. Then at 10, bear poachers on the loose in a premiere, Wildlife Detectives.